Welcome back to the Build Your Own Blog series in Laravel. If you're new here, please check out the first video as I will be showing you step-by-step tutorial on how to build a whole blog using Laravel. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make migrations and models for your blog. So what a migration is a database migration. You create all your columns on there and then you just create columns on there. What's the benefit of creating migrations is you create all your migrations through it, which is a pain because you have to create it and then you have to make a rollback for it. But if you ever give this project to someone else, or if you ever upload to GitHub and then you want to download the project, all you have to do is run PHP artisan migrate and it'll create your whole database. Obviously not with your data, but the whole structure. So that's the amazing thing, because let's say you're working with a buddy, instead of telling him, hey, I made this column, or you guys are constantly doing database dumps, he just runs that one command on his machine and it gives you all the tables that you have. It's very cool. So the first thing you want to do is open up your terminal and make sure you're on the actual folder. And then if you type in PHP artisan, here's all the stuff that you can make. So we're going to be making a migration. So we're going to run PHP artisan make migration, and now we're going to create a posts table. PHP artisan, before we do that, PHP artisan migrate. So there's nothing to migrate, and make sure your database is connected. If you don't know, please check out video number 2, I believe it was. And there we go. We type in PHP artisan make migration, and we're going to type in create posts table. Click enter, and it's creating the migration file. And then you go into database. So I'll show you where that is. 4th folder, migrations, last one. So now it automatically creates a increment ID with a timestamp. So what we want to do is, let's think of this. We have a user and we're gonna have posts. So sorry, my nose is very itchy, I have allergies. There's gonna be a user that's gonna have many posts. So it's gonna have a has many relationship. So that user will have many posts and it belongs to that user. So what do we want? We're gonna have an ID and then the timestamp of when it was created. And then what else do we want? So table. Now, if you don't know what types there are, Laravel, you can always refer to the documentation. They have amazing documentation. So if you scroll down, you could do table boolean, table datetime, table double, nullable timestamps, small increment, small integer. So if you guys ever need reference, just search up Laravel migrations and you have a lot. There's also like after. So you can make a migration and then you can say like after this column. So put this column after this column. Very cool. I haven't used, I don't even know if some existed. Generated as, haven't used this. I've never used this. Most of the ones I use is the after, which is nice because when you make your database, you want to structure maybe like some parts here, some parts here. So we want a string and we want a title, which is not going to be nullable because we obviously need a title. Table, is it text? Yes. We can honestly just copy this. Table text description, or description will be like the post. Is that the correct way of making? There'll be a title, a description. What else do we need? Maybe message. I don't want to say post because that is the table name. We'll say message. Table. Now we want to have a user ID field on this because when we're going to be pulling up the posts, we want to find all the posts that this user owns. So what you want to do is have something like this. So table unsigned big integer user ID, and then it's going to reference. It's going to so then you type in table foreign user ID. So you're making this a foreign key. References ID, so the ID column on the user's table. And then on delete cascade, meaning it will delete this post if this user is deleted. Very cool. So let me just separate this so you can understand it more. We have a users table. The users table comes with an ID, as you can see right here. When we're going to create a post, it's going to have a title, a message, and then a user ID. So whoever created this post, their ID will get injected into that post. And then we're just saying that we're making this a foreign key that references ID on the users table. Pretty simple. So then when we want to pull up that user's posts, we can just be like user and then like a, drawing a blank here, arrow function, and then posts. And then we'll have all the users' posts. That's a relation. So what else do we want? Title, message, and timestamp will be the created that date. I think that's all we need for now, honestly. I'm trying to think what else do we need. A slug? Yes, we need a slug. So a slug is what we can call the post by. So let's say we have a URL called post / and then we can be like my first title, something like that. My first day rollerblading, something like that. And then it will link to that one post. So we're going to say table string slug, and then we want to make it a unique. So it has to be unique, and it is mandatory. That's it. And then we just run PHP artisan at the bottom here, migrate, and migrate created, and now we have our posts table. Now we want to create a model. So we will type in PHP artisan make model post. It is a singular version of the table. So we have posts and post. And now the model is in the app post. And now what I like to do, because I've had many problems with this before, you can actually specify a protected table equal to posts. So that means that if the table name is called posts and the model is called post, it will link to this table. But sometimes it won't do it and it'll throw you an error, and it's very annoying. So what I like to do is on every model I do, I just specify the table name. It's very simple because sometimes you'll be getting errors thrown at you and you won't even know what it is. So just specify post. So we know that this model is linked to the post table. Next thing you want to do is, what should we do next? We got our model set up. We have our user model set up. And I believe everything is set up and we can start building our blog. So check out the next video, and we're going to start creating our partials. We're separating our views, creating the front end, and we're going to start working with our code.